show you what we will be working on for the next 2 days. So we've been talking about the position versus time graphs that we've been doing in class. Today you're going to make your own with your own story, and you're going to make a graph and a data table all on the computer yourself. So our end product is going to look something like this. It's only going to be 1 page long. So to get there, you have your Excel link, so click on that. And then here you're given 4 data tables that will create 4 different graphs. Graph A, B, C, and D. I want you to choose one of these. So 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'm going to choose the first one. First thing you need to do is to make the graph. So you need to highlight the information, so include the title of these. Then you're going to click on the chart icon. Now this is not what we want our graph to look like. We want a line graph because it's over time. So we're going to click on use column B as labels, and then we're going to click on line chart. Make sure you have these clicked and it looks just like mine. And then now that I have a set up line graph, we're going to click insert. So we're missing parts of Sultan on this graph, so we need to change that by clicking on this drop down arrow. Click on Advanced Edit. I'm going to change my title to say Position versus Time. And then I want to change my horizontal axis. So my horizontal axis is this way. We want to change it to say time. And the units were given to you in the data table, so make sure you have the right ones. The first one should be hours. Make sure your minimum, it starts at 0. And it'll automatically change things for you. Then I want to change the vertical axis. I want this to say position, and this will be miles for my example. Again, I want to start at 0, and things will change. So then make sure you click update, and things will adjust. So we need to copy this graph onto our Google Doc. So we're going to click the drop down, we're going to click Save Image, and the image is going to download onto here. Then you need to go back to your Google Drive and you need to create a new document. You should title this your name and position versus time graphs. This will be my example. Position versus time graph. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to insert my image. So I want to put this in here. So we can do edit, select all, edit, copy, and then now we can do edit, paste. Ta-da! So now that we have our image, let's also write our title and our name. Oops. Click undo. So now my cursor is at the top. I'm going to center it, and I'll title this story an after school adventure. So the goal of this is we want to put this graph into words. So we have what it's supposed to look like, but we need a story that goes with it. Also make sure your name and period are on here. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we need to calculate the speed for every line segment. So if you notice, on every one of these graphs there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 line segments. So we need to calculate the speed for each part. So we're going to do that by going back to our Excel sheet, and you'll see how there's a line segment and speed. So we're just going to copy this. So edit, copy. We're going to put, that's my final draft. We're going to put this data table underneath our graph. Now it's our job to calculate the speed. So speed is distance over time. So we're it's going to be, this example is going to be miles per hour. Let's put that in the top, miles per hour. Whatever yours is, I'm going to abbreviate it so it fits. And then I need to calculate the speed. So from point here, from 0 to the next part of the line, it went from position 0 to 4. So it's 4 miles divided by, this is half an hour, so divided by 0.5 hours. So when I do my calculations, I will find out that that means it equals to a speed of 8. Now I do my next line segment, B. So it starts at 4, ends at 4, so my miles is 0. So he didn't go anywhere, even though it took an hour's time. So my speed is 0 for the horizontal sections. Now let's look at C. So I started at 4, I ended at 8. So my total distance traveled was 4 miles, and it took me from 1.5 hour to 2 hour. So my time was only half an hour. So we traveled 4 miles in half an hour, which gives us a final speed of 8. Now we started at 8 and we went down to 2. So here we traveled 6 miles and it took us from 2 to 3. So it took us 1 hour to travel 6 miles. So that's 6 miles per hour. And then my last part, in a half an hour, I started at 2 miles and I ended at 2 miles. So I did not have a speed. I was not moving. So now that we have our general speeds for each part of the graph, now we can create a story. So I already have an example written out. So I thought about it and I made a story that goes along with the graph. Okay, so you can read the example, but just make sure that you include the speed for each segment and you talk about where did they start, where did they end. So this is a fun way to be creative. At the very, very end, you can add in one picture. So your overall goal is going to look like, let's look at the print preview. So it's going to look like this. So again, it's going to have your name, period, a title. Your graph is going to be labeled with a title. The axes are labeled. It has units. You have a data table, and then you have a story. Last thing you can do, you may add one picture. So once you have all of this and you have checked with me, you may go ahead and print. So if you have any questions, rewatch the video and good luck.